3 things you must give up to manifest more money, and when you understand and let go of these 3 things, you'll see your bank account grow. It happened to me a lot faster than I even thought possible. This is Jake Ducey with JakeDucey.com, and let's dive right into these 3 things. Number 1, you have to let go of being scared to pay for things. So every time that you're scared to pay for things, what you're actually doing is you're reinforcing an energy of lack. That doesn't mean you go out and you spend money on things you can't afford, but the necessities that you're paying for, whether it's your rent or your food at the grocery store or your gas or whatever it is, every time you're doing that, you're reinforcing a perception that we don't live in an abundant world. The reality is, this is the reality. More money is printed every single day. There is so much money on the planet that money actually is losing its value. Hence the rise of cryptocurrencies, and it's losing its value. There's so much money. So the problem isn't that there's not enough money. The problem is your relationship to money. Like, imagine your wife or your husband or your boss or your best friend or your coach or your teacher. Imagine talking to them and being like, you know, I just don't really want you around. I just don't really want you around. And I wish you were around more often. They'd get confused, but that's what we do. We're sending out this signal of like, you're not here, but they're right in front of your face. The reality is more money is printed every single day. And so what I do is I give myself subconscious prompts. I have a little, it's probably like 1 inch big, and it just says I'm prosperous, and it's on the top flap of my credit and debit cards. So every time I put my credit and debit cards in or I pull them out, I affirm to myself, I'm prosperous, I'm so happy and grateful I'm prosperous. And I remind myself that we're centers of distribution. We're centers of distribution. So the things that we attract into our life are based off of the energy that we distribute. So I want to move into an energy of like, think about what you're grateful for about the fact that you bought. Man, you've been worried. Like, imagine this energy when you're paying for your gas that you're afraid to pay for. I'm so grateful. Money's been really hard for the last year, for the last 2 months, my whole life. It's been really hard, and I've been really nervous, and obviously, you know that universe, I've been stressing a lot. But you know what? I'm really grateful that I was able to pay for my gas today, because I'm really excited to go to work today, and I'm gonna save 20% of my paycheck today. I'm really excited to go to the grocery store so I can buy some healthy food for myself or for my kids. I'm really grateful. Sometimes it may not seem like that, but it's just because I get nervous. But in this moment, I feel so grateful that I was able to buy this gas, that I was able to pay my rent. Think about the energy difference of that. You have to move away from logic. Logic is, oh man, I only have $4 left in my bank account. Fuck, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Sorry, I didn't mean to cuss. I don't know what I'm gonna do. You're never gonna put yourself in a position to attract what you want that way. So you have to take deliberate action to, every time you're paying for the things that you're nervous about, to find something that you're grateful about while you're paying it. And you can say it out loud. Like at the cashier store when you're buying a smoothie and it's too expensive, you're like, I'm so grateful that I have the money to buy this $9 smoothie. I'm so grateful I have the money to buy this $30 of groceries. You say it out loud to the person. You've got to put yourself in harmony with the things you're grateful for about why you're spending it, and slowly but surely that fear will dissolve over time. Number 2, stop telling yourself that money isn't important. I did that all the time. I didn't have any money, so I told myself that money wasn't important. But the reality is, the more you say something is important, the less you have in your life. If you don't think motorcycles are important, you're not gonna have a motorcycle. I don't have a motorcycle. I don't find them that important. I understand that certain people do, right? But my point is, if you don't think something is important, you're not gonna have it in your life. You don't think making YouTube videos is that important. So maybe you don't have a camera and you don't make YouTube videos. Maybe you don't think surfing is that important to your life, so you don't have a surfboard, right? Think about it. If you don't think sports cars are really important, are really important, you're not gonna have a sports car. You're just not. It's not in your belief system. The same is true for money. Think about that. If you don't think something is important, you're not gonna have it. But then what we do, and I did this all the time, I would justify why I didn't have money by saying it's not that important. Yeah, but it's not that important. But then all that would do would perpetuate my belief system of money not being that important. Therefore, I never made any strides to have any money. So I was always struggling. I was always stressed. Bob Proctor said one time, you'll be amazed at how much free time you have and how little you think about money once you have money. When you don't have money, you think about money all the time, but when you do have money, you hardly ever think about it. Why? Because when you don't have money, all your decisions revolve around money and you not having it, and it constantly affirms the fact that you don't have it. Once you decide that you're gonna have a positive relationship with money, you tend to find more of it in your life and it becomes less of a constant mental distraction. So stop saying that money isn't important. You have to stop saying that. Think about it. It's impossible for you to attract more of it if it's not important to you. You won't work hard for it. You won't see any reason in order to put energy into it. And subconsciously, you're telling your subconscious mind that this thing isn't valuable to you, so your subconscious doesn't want to give you that. Your subconscious receives any command that you give it and then builds your life around those commands. Money's not that important. What command is that to the subconscious mind? I don't need very much of that stuff. Your subconscious mind doesn't know what's right or wrong, good or bad in reality. It just knows the things that you tell it to do, and then it builds your life around those certain things. If you tell your wife she's not very important, she will leave you eventually. If you tell your husband they're not that important, they will leave you eventually. If you tell your boss that he's not that important and his job isn't very important, they gon' fire your ass. It's the reality. Anything you don't think is important, you will not have much of it in your life, if at all. The reality is a lot of people that say money isn't very important are actually in terrible financial spots. And then they justify why they're in a bad financial spot by saying, well, it's not that important anyways. So it makes no sense. You have to get out of that mindset and decide and make a commitment that you're going to master your relationship with money, because in the physical plane, money means options. Money means the opportunity for more freedom. Money means the opportunity for more luxuries. Money means the opportunity to buy books. I can't even make these videos without money. I wouldn't have a good enough camera. I had to buy these lights. These lights cost me a bunch of money. I couldn't buy all the books. Yesterday I went to Barnes & Noble. I spent $100 on books. I couldn't even do that. I could not do that a few years ago. I could not go spend a couple $100s on books. It gives you the opportunity to study. It gives me the free time to study. If I didn't have money, I would need to work all the time. But now I can study. I can spend time growing my mind. I can buy. Yeah, the other day I bought my fiance roses. I couldn't buy roses if I didn't have any money. It's important. It's important only in the arena of which it's used, though. You know, somebody says, well, it's not as important as love. That's the silliest question. What's more important, your arm or your leg? Do you want your arm or do you want your leg? Which one's more important? Both of them are important. My leg's important for walking and my arm's important for grabbing stuff. Money's important for where you live, the food you eat, da-da-da-da-da. Love's important for spiritual aspects, for true fulfillment in life. They're both important, right? That's the reality of the situation. So unless you decide that money is important and you change your worldview and you change your perception on reality, you're always going to be in scarcity and lack around money, because if it's not that important, you're never going to attract much of it into your life. So make that commitment for yourself and you'll start to see changes. When you decide that you're no longer going to live the way you're going to live, things shift. Number 3, affirming what is. The longer that you affirm what is about your financial situation, the more you're going to create more of what is. When I was really struggling financially to get this off the ground, my fiance went into debt She was my girlfriend at the time, because I didn't have enough money to help out with groceries. Literally, I didn't have enough money to help out. So we were in debt, or she was in debt. We weren't technically married, so it was her debt. And I was like, this is getting ridiculous. I had the belief system that money wasn't very important. As long as I'm doing what I love and I'm helping people, that's all that matters. No, it's not, because I couldn't help very many people when I'm always worrying about money. I couldn't buy good camera equipment. I couldn't buy good lights. Couldn't do any of that. So I decided that I was not going to be broke anymore. You know, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, has a really cool quote. He was like 26 years old, and he had got evicted from his house, and he was walking down the street, and he pulled out of his wallet $7. And he said, I realized two things. One, I was broke, and two, I wouldn't be broke ever again. One, I was broke, and two, I wouldn't be broke ever again. And I made that commitment that I wasn't going to be broke anymore. And so what I did is I stopped affirming what was. I actually quit looking at my mobile banking. I only looked at it once a week. And the reason I did that is because I didn't even want to suggest ideas and images that were contrary to the images I was starting to hold in my mind. I had used a law of attraction to manifest books and building a following online. I wasn't making any money off of it really, but I had used it for spiritual purposes, desires, manifesting my soulmate, all these things. I'd never applied it to money. And it was costing me a lot. I wasn't very creative. I wasn't very inspired because I was worried all the time. I was stressed all the time. And so I started using these same techniques that I applied for other areas of my life to money. Visualization, vision board, all these things. That's when I got my free success hypnosis you can use. Download it down below, jakeshypnosis.com. When I decided I wasn't going to be broke anymore, one of the first things that I did is I went and recorded the exact hypnosis that you're going to hear. I've made a lot of money using this hypnosis because I changed my view on reality. I started focusing on helping more people and actually deciding money was important, that I wanted a fair exchange for the value. So I quit looking at my mobile banking, I quit affirming what was. The reality of that is that when you stop affirming what is, you allow what's in your mind in order to take real form. A visionary is someone who lives from their inner vision. Visionary, right? They talk about like Steve Jobs being a visionary. He lived from his inner vision rather than reality. Most people are realitarians. They consume reality. I don't have much money. I don't have much money. I don't have much money. Well, where's the money? I don't have much money. I don't see the money. This is stupid. Law of attraction doesn't work. And they just keep affirming that stuff over and over again. So remember this. To think what you want to think is to think truth, regardless of appearance. To think what you want to think is to think truth regardless of appearance. Think what you want to think. That's your truth regardless of the world outside of you. This world is an illusion. It's not real. It's just energy. It's not real. It's a reflection off of your consciousness. Your consciousness projects your reality. So what you see in present time is a reflection of how you've habitually engaged your consciousness over the past. That's all it is. That's all reality is. That's all it is. There's nothing else to reality other than it's a hologram based off of what was in your consciousness in the past. So there's no reason to look at reality right now to decide what you can do in the future and decide if the law of attraction is working and deciding if you have the opportunity to make more money. It's an illusion. It's just based off of the past programming. And when you realize that, then you can start saying, okay, well, let me hold different images in my mind. I'm not going to tell myself anymore I'm broke. I'm not going to tell myself anymore I'm financially challenged. I'm not going to tell myself anymore it's too hard to make money. I'm not going to tell myself anymore I keep trying to get out of debt, but I keep falling back into debt. I can't save any money. I don't have any money left over. Save 10 cents, dude. Save 10 cents this month. If you can't save 1 penny, then you're just not serious. You can save a penny. If that's all you can save this month, save a penny. I could go find a penny on the ground today. Save it. And then next month, save 4 pennies. Work your way up to $5, to $10, and you let it build. Just disregard the world as is and start focusing on the image in your mind and take practical steps to make that a reality. This is Jake Ducey with JakeDucey.com talking about 3 things you gotta give up to manifest more money into your life. Download my success hypnosis. If you're serious about changing your financial life, download my success hypnosis. Press the subscribe button in the corner right there. See you on the next video and have an awesome day.